back in January, I was certain the worst thing we would see in 2020 was BBC's adaptation of Terry Pratchett's Discworld called The Woods. But you know what, life proved me wrong, because as it turns out, this series is coming out January 2021. And also other bad stuff happened around the world. So it's official, we have a release date for the Discworld series. Discworld in quotes, because it's not Discworld series, it's just inspired by it, as everybody who watched my other videos about this series knows already. And we have a new image released. Building Cool states, fans of Sir Terry Pratchett's Good Omens. And okay, let's get something straight. The reason why I'm the only YouTuber covering this series is because A, I'm desperate for views and likes and subscriptions, so do your work, guys. Come on, I mean, I have to boast some good ratios, alright? And two, because nobody else cares about it. And I mean, you can see that Building Cool, which is one of those famous pop culture sites, just thinks that Terry Pratchett is known because of Good Omens, and that's preposterous. I know Good Omens is a series and people like it, but Terry Pratchett is mostly known for Discworld, okay? Epic comedy fantasy book series Discworld have been patiently waiting. Nobody's waiting for the series. Even Rihanna Pratchett is throwing shade at the producers of the series for the clusterfuck it is. For word on when BBC America's, and if you're wondering why it's a clusterfuck, it's because it's BBC America, and as we can see from Bleeding Cool, most of the Americans are not aware of who Terry Pratchett is. That's why nobody of the outrage warriors out there care to call out BBC for how atrocious this adaptation seems to be. 8-episode adaptation is coming on January. We still lack a specific date, but AMC Networks revealed that the adventure of Richard Dormer's blah 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 January 2021. So we know that come January 2021 we'll be mocking this series or ignoring it. Or we'll see about it. Just wait for the rest of the video. It's written by Simon Allen, Strike Back the Musketeers, Joy Wilkinson, Doctor Who, and I think that's the guy who did the It Takes You Away from season 11, as well as seasons 12, Plan Orphan 50-something. That's that atrocious episode from Doctor Who. Catherine Trigina from Torchwood, I think her episodes were decent in Torchwood, and Noah Himes, the guy from Doctor Who did the good episode of season 11 and the atrocious of season 12. And Joy Wilkinson did, oh god, the Witchfinders. Oh god, that episode was awful. That was bloody awful. Catherine Trigina has a good track record for Torchwood as far as I remember. Let me check her out. Yes, she did 4 episodes for Torchwood, and they were not the awful episodes we have seen written by Chris Chibnall, which was, yes, showrunner for Torch. But enough Doctor Who. I mean, I have got plenty of outrage videos about the state of Doctor Who under Chris Chibnall. So let's talk about the punk rock thriller that focuses on city watch as they fight to save their city from outside forces and itself. Blah 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 blah. So let's see the photo. What do we have here? Let's start from left to right. So The Watch features de-aged Steven Seagal as Legolas. Cool Charlize Theron wannabe from, I don't know. We have Xena, ethnic warrior princess. Midlife crisis Beric Dondarrion. We have Korg from Thor Ragnarok. Industrial rock Dean Winchester. I don't know, I mean, do these people feel like The Watch to you? And this is Chiri, Angua, Lady Sybil, Vimes, Detritus, and Carrot. Detritus looks okay. I guess Vimes is bearable and Carrot could do with a taller actor, whatever. Let's see the blurb. In BBC America's newest original series, The Watch, an unlikely group of misfits, the City Wots, find the guts to save the world, surprising even themselves in the process. The comedic yet thrilling series pits trolls, werewolves, wizards, and other improbable heroes against an evil plot to resurrect a great dragon, which would lead to the destruction of life as they know it. So basically, they took God's guards, but they swapped some characters from others. Okay, I can live with that. From lead writer and executive producer Simon Allen, the modern inclusive series, and we'll talk about the inclusiveness in a while, is inspired by many of Sir Terry Pratchett's famous Discworld creations, including The Captain, Some Vines, The Last Sign of Nobility, Lady Sybil Ramkin. Again, this is Sybil Ramkin, and you can see that her appearance is off for obvious reasons we will explain later. The naive but heroic Carrot, which actually sounds like Carrot, and the actor looks like Carrot. He could be taller, but whatever. Ciri looks as tall as Carrot. And that's a problem. The mysterious Angua, who I guess will be a werewolf in this version. Yes, I know, spoilers for fans of the books that have read them cover to cover too many times. There was this video. And the ingenious forensic expert Ciri, together with Pratchett's iconic characterization of death. And I see no death here. If you see any death in this photograph, because I stopped and I looked for it, I couldn't find it. Hugel's Constable Carrot was raised as a dwarf, but turned out to be an orphan human child. He joins the group after pursuing a career in law enforcement. Ciri is an ingenious, non-binary forensic expert, not a dwarf, which is a problem. And here comes the inclusion. As you can see in this video, I'm trying to be a poor man's... Let me show my face better. In this video, I'm kind of a poor man's Gary from Neurotic, and I know that at this point somebody in the comments has already commented, get woke, go broke. And listen, this series is not woke. This series fails tremendously even at trying to be woke and inclusive, because as we all know, everybody who has read Feet of Clay, we have this amazing character Ciri, whose gender is dwarf, because Terry Pratchett was a smart man and he knew he was poking fun at how dwarfs only seem to be male in fantasy, so he came up that society of dwarfs has only one gender, dwarf. So he had a non-binary race and had one of its member, the female of the species, become a woman and start I guess feminist movement in the dwarf society, even though many other dwarfs disapproved of her, and then female dwarfs started popping up all over the woods. So that was an amazing comment about diversity in police enforcement back when it was written, how minorities were included in the texts they created, how women were not allowed to be women in police force. And that was a great story, great character that people love, and here they just ignore that and reverse it. They turn Ciri into a non-binary person who is a human, which I guess it is inclusive, but it's also kind of wrong in many ways. But that's not the part that feels wrong. Ross is Lady Sybil Ramkin, the last scion of Ankh-Morpork nobility who tries to fix the city via vigilantism. This one here is Lady Sybil, and you can see what is definitely wrong about her appearance, about her looks. She is young and fit, and Lady Sybil is a plus-sized older woman who has political power and actually tries to make the world better through optimism, and that makes her such a great character and such a great juxtaposition to go against Vimes. And they just erased that because we should have a woman of color, I guess, in the cast and make her young, fit and sexy. If people on Twitter knew about Discworld, they would be cancelling the series very hard. Coulter Dunn is a wounded and wrong man out to take control of the city and exact revenge on the adjust reality. Chancellor Lord Vetinari is the patrician Shouldn't she be the matrician? Because the patrician assumes that she's male. Of Ankh Morpok, an architect of the city's normalized rogueness and ramshackle system of governance. The chancellor is wizard, magical advisor, and the head of the university. And I hope they do ridiculously for this character, because he's such a gem. Dr. Crucis is the head of the Assassin's Guild. Throat, the city's best needs, with a gang of freelance henchmen. And then let's get the more insulting part, where everybody will shout no. Kai Kazim's Captain John Keel is the former leader of the Watch and mentor to Sam Vimes. We all know who John Keel was in Nightwatch, right? And how important his death was to the Watch. And here he's just the wise black guy mentor that is probably the voice of conscience for Vimes or something. Manny's cunning wands is a weird hopeful in waiting that is frequently underestimated. Whatever. BBC Studios will be sharing production with Narrativia, which is run by author's daughter Rhianna Pratcett and his former business manager Rob Wilkins, who have called out this adaptation as how bad it is. Yeah, man said get woke, go broke, but I think that this doesn't apply though. I think that is the other way. You go broke and then you get woke. And in case of people, it is because they feel they have nothing to lose. They see that the system doesn't provide them with the opportunities or the rewards they want, so they say, let's bring the system down and build something new, or alter it a lot. When it comes to projects like that, it's either diminishing viewership or an ability to reach younger demographics or more coveted demographics, so they will go in a more inclusive way in order to get an ever-increasing percentage of minorities in the US and in the Western world, or because there are some very loud critics on the internet. And if done properly, it can save these properties. I mean, Fury Road was awesome, and it was also very progressive in its message. Black Panther did great, Get Out did amazingly well as a movie. We have seen this wokeness working. But here we have a production that looks creatively broke. It feels like the only person that had a passion for this project was Terry Pratchett, and his passing away left BBC with a series they did not know what to make of, and they just went through the motions. They tried to fill in checkboxes, they tried to create something new, they tried to avoid some of the budget issues, so that's why it's more steampunk than fantasy, and that's why we have no dwarfs. That's why we had some characters consolidated to fit in a demographic, I guess. The Watch books did a great job at including new diverse characters and minorities. As a plot point later on, in the beginning it was just 3 men and Carrot. Some of those characters were beloved, like Nobby Nobbs or Sergeant Column, and it's the same they're out, so they have consolidated some of the characters. I guess Angua will be a female Nobby werewolf in this version. She looks the part. She's a great gender-swapped Nobby, the way she looks and feels, and this series looks like a Firefly reboot or a Dollar Bean Guardians of the Galaxy. But you know, as I see this photograph 8 months after we saw the first pictures, and we're like, what the fuck they're thinking about? And just, you know, thinking that this series is not Discworld, it's just a reimagining in 2021 with all the different media landscape from when these books were written and what the concept initially was, because the main contributor passed away, unfortunately. You can say that this series may not be that bad. It may be fun if you ignore that it's a Terry Pratchett series. If they just manage to capture a little bit of the Pratchett magic, and the main problem is they don't seem to. They seem to miss the point in Pratchett, and the humor and the way some things work, and the inclusivity and diversity of his work and his cunning wit, then this can be fun. But we'll have to see. We'll have to wait for January. I don't know, either poke fun how bad this is, or just, you know, enjoy it for what it is and try not to think too much of the missed potential of the series. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment about how you feel about this series, about this photograph, if you're interested in watching it or not, and why. As always, thank you for watching and have fun. Bye bye.